Hello once more from the German ruin. So I was just on my way back and yeah, it didn't look like it, but suddenly I was in the midst of this fairy tale forest full of fog, and yeah, I just pulled over the car and went right into this forest, and that's just awesome. The atmosphere, wherever I look, this dense fog, and then we have those green rocks here, which is just awesome. I have so many possibilities to take a photo and I'm kind of overwhelmed. Let me quickly show you one composition I've just found. So this here, I have those moss-covered rocks in the foreground, then this tree surrounded by fog and the bigger trees here, and it's just an awesome scene, and yeah, looks like a fairy tale. And if there wasn't the street just 100 meters behind me with cars driving by it, yeah, it would be a bit spooky, I guess. So as usual for such scenes, I'm using the polarizer to ensure that the colors really pop. So I have those greens and those orange and red tones of the leaves, which really make the photo here and give the nice contrast to the nearly monochromatic sky, where you just have the dense fog and less and less details into the distance. So here I don't need to breathe on the lens as I did in another video to fake the fog. Finally I have real fog, and yeah, I can't remember when I last had such great conditions, so I have to continue shooting, and hopefully I have some photos to show you also. So let's get back to work. Okay, this is a bit like a photographer's dream here. So I just found this wonderful tree with this nice form, and there are still some leaves on the branches, and all around there's those mossy rocks, leaves. In the distance we have the fog, and let me quickly show you. So I think I go for a 4x3 crop, and I have this branch here at 1/3 this tree and leaning into this side. Then I have fog in the distance, some of those rocks here in the foreground. Yeah, using the polarizer to bring out the colors. I'm at f11, 0.3 of a second, and let's just pull this off here quickly. Okay. So ideally, you see here, it's a little overexposed, but I think I can get away with this. But I've also shot a darker frame, which I can later blend in if I need to. If I had more time, or if I wanted, I would drop in a 0.6 soft GND to darken the sky a bit. But there's no movement in the tree, so I can easily blend. So I'll just use 2 exposures if I need, and blend it in, so I don't have to fuss around with the ND filters here. So it's an easier workflow also. I don't know how long this fog will stay. Yeah, so 2 photos, hopefully. Let's move to the next one. So even with such great conditions, it's again, as in my last video about woodland photography, all about finding some orderly composition, or in this case also something which catches the eye. I mean, they could just shoot in this direction, I have trees, I have rocks, but nothing which stands out. I mean, it looks nice if you look at it, but if you want to take a photograph, then you need to look for some character or for something special. And in this case, for example, I found those trees again with remaining leaves on it, and then a little further this is repeated, another tree with some leaves. And yeah, the foreground is quite clean. I also removed some branches, which is what I often do because I'm too lazy to clone it out in Photoshop. So I can show you the photo now. It's quite simple. I think I'm gonna crop a little bit of the foreground, but I didn't want to tilt the camera upwards here to avoid the leaning trees. So I rather go a little bit wider, keep the camera level, and then just crop a little bit to the bottom, which is easy to do if you have like 50 megapixels, but also if you have less. It's usually better to crop, for me, than to do perspective corrections. Yeah, and now I think I move on. Gonna make the most out of this. I mean, it's funny, I've been driving past this woodland here for like 20 years. I've been past here a few hundred times, never stopped, and yeah, had I just known, this is such a special and beautiful woodland. And it might even look nice in winter, so I got very lucky today, and yeah, I'm glad I stopped. I now take a few more photos, and in the end I'm gonna show them to you, and yeah, see you.